gaze drifted to Freya, perched at a distance, an impish gleam in her eye. "Well done, I'll reward you," he called out, recognizing her contribution to his plans. With a playful hop, Freya bounded toward him, her demeanor one of exaggerated eagerness. She clung to his tattered clothing, looking up with wide, innocent eyes. "My noble master, I want my reward now. I am your slave, let me serve you." "Go away, we'll talk later," Lin Tian replied, irritation creeping into his tone as he gently kicked her away, her delicate features crinkling in surprise. He turned his attention to the black sword in his hand and gestured for Goblin Sky to drag Casimir's lifeless body back to their tribe. The weight of victory was sweet, with each kill, his power grew. When Casimir's body was thrown into the center of the goblin tribe, cheers erupted. The goblins reveled in the death of another adversary, their confidence swelling. But not everyone shared their enthusiasm. Loder, still in disbelief, raged, "Another one dead. Another one. Damn sword saint. For those damn Brighttown minions, why haven't you come yet? Oh? You speak ill of your master like that? I think she's quite noble, very righteous," Lin Tian mocked, his eyes glinting with amusement as he looked at Loder. The goblin from earlier lunged forward, eagerly devouring Casimir's remains, his body absorbing the essence of his fallen foe. The creature leveled up to 49, teetering on the brink of evolution into a hero type. Lin Tian named him Goblin Kind. This goblin was an enigma, though considered kind among his peers, he held a dark and twisted heart. He was known for toying with his prey, watching as they squirmed and struggled before ultimately meeting their demise. "Goblin Kind? Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss. I have a name too," he danced with joy, his excitement infectious. Rising tensions in Brighttown. Meanwhile, in Brighttown, fear clung to the air like a thick fog. The purple-gold dragon mother haunted their dreams, her presence a constant threat that left everyone on edge. Inside the tavern, members of the Battle Roar Regiment exchanged anxious glances as they drank, the tension palpable. "It's been so long, they should have returned by now, right?" one murmured, his voice barely masking the anxiety. The Sword Saintess, known as the Guardian of the Holy Sword, stood like a statue on the highest clock tower, her resolve unwavering. She couldn't afford to fail, the weight of her title pressed heavily on her shoulders. The townsfolk frequently approached her, offering food and money in an attempt to persuade her to rest, but she steadfastly refused. Days turned into an agonizing wait. Finally, the grim realization settled among the regiment members: Casimir had perished in the enchanted forest. "What kind of goblin tribe is this? One after another, they die," another soldier shouted, frustration bubbling to the surface. "Why do I feel like we're caught in a deadly stratagem?" a third chimed in, panic creeping into his tone. "A deadly stratagem? Hiss. If that's true, it would be terrifying." "Impossible, impossible," another dismissed, but doubt began to fester in their minds. The Sword Saintess joined their circle, her expression grave. "All of you leave here and go to the capital to request reinforcements. It's the only way. We are in a very unfavorable situation." The soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. The dual threat of the dragon and the goblin tribe loomed large over them. "If we leave those goblins unchecked, they might migrate, and their development could become a great threat," she warned, her voice cutting through their doubts. As the enchanted forest grew emptier, it was evident that the goblins had decimated the wildlife. The soldiers knew they couldn't let this go unchallenged, especially since their revenge had yet to be exacted. The regiment leader, however, bristled at the suggestion of retreat. "If we do that, wouldn't we be deserters? We've always been at the forefront of every mission. You go for reinforcements, I'll deal with those goblins myself. I don't believe we can't beat a bunch of lowly beasts." His words echoed in the tavern, a declaration that drew weary sighs from the others. They had heard similar bravado too many times. But their leader was resolute. "Let's go, Captain. Time waits for no one, we must hurry to the capital," they urged, dragging him away. The calculated maneuvers of Lin Tian. Meanwhile, Lin Tian had been lurking outside Brighttown, perched atop his dragon, observing the unfolding drama with keen interest. A self-satisfied grin stretched across his face as he watched the Battle Roar Regiment make their hurried exit. "Humph, it seems these fools are foolish enough to fall into my trap one by one," he sneered, ready to depart when a realization struck him. They were heading down the main road, not toward the enchanted forest. "No! I can't let them escape." Lin Tian's heart raced as he took off on his dragon, aiming to cut off their path. He soon spotted a wooden bridge spanning a perilous cliff. A plan took shape in his mind. He could sever their path and trap them. Hovering above the bridge, he readied the elemental hand crossbow, selecting a flame arrow. With a quick shot, the arrow ignited, setting the bridge ablaze. The fire spread rapidly, consuming the wood and sending plumes of smoke into the air. Below lay an abyss that promised certain death for anyone attempting to cross. Cackle, cackle. It seems heaven favors me. This opportunity is too good to waste, Lin Tian chuckled, his mind racing with the possibilities. Not only would he eliminate the battle roar regiment, but he would also seize Bright Town for himself. He swiftly returned to the Tian Quang tribe, rallying his goblins for the impending assault. The battle roar regiment in disarray. On the dirt road, the sound of urgent hoofbeats reverberated as the battle roar regiment rode forth on their carnivorous horses, the first-tier magical beasts known for their endurance. Wait! Stop! Their leader shouted, his voice piercing the air. The horses came to a halt, their nostrils flaring as they sensed the tension. Ahead, the bridge they needed had been reduced to a smoldering ruin. Anguish washed over the soldiers as they realized their path was cut off. Who set this fire? Damn it, one soldier yelled, his anger boiling over. Come out, you coward. Afraid to admit what you did, another taunted, his frustration echoing through the canyon. With no immediate answer, their expressions soured. The leader quickly issued commands, everyone, chop down trees and build a bridge. We can't waste any time. The urgency of their situation settled over them like a thick cloak. They dismounted, each member rushing to gather tools and materials, all the while cursing the unseen enemy who had thwarted them. Lin Tian's calculated assault. As the battle roar regiment scrambled to construct a makeshift bridge, Lin Tian hovered nearby on his dragon, observing their frantic efforts. Phew, if the sword saintess were here, she could probably pull this off by herself, one soldier remarked, fatigue etched on his face as he wiped the sweat from his brow. Give me 10 more years, and I won't be any worse than the sword saintess, their leader retorted, puffing out his chest in pride. 10 years? By then, the sword saintess will probably be at an unimaginable level, another laughed, camaraderie easing their tension. But their moment of levity was cut short when the sky darkened, an ominous shadow blotting out the sun. What's happening? The regiment leader gasped, horror dawning on him as he looked up. A dragon descended from the heavens, its massive wings stirring the air into a frenzy. Lin Tian landed gracefully on the other side of the bridge, his presence imposing. Time waits for no one, he declared, his voice booming with authority. The battle roar regiment stood frozen, their earlier bravado shattered as they realized they had walked straight into a carefully laid trap. The stage is set for confrontation. With tension crackling in the air, the fate of Bright Town and its defenders hung precariously in the balance. The battle lines were drawn, and the clash between Lin Tian's cunning and the battle roar regiment's resolve was about to unfold in a fight that would determine the future of all involved.